A well-known childhood story about Jack London is that his life was transformed forever in 1885 when his family moved to Oakland and discovered that he could check out books from the public library for free. He later wrote of this discovery that, "This world of books now accessible practically gave me the basis of my education." Although London became an avid reader, he was not a sedentary person. Benet's Reader's Encyclopedia of American Literature lists London's occupations as novelist, short story writer, political essayist, adventurer, hobo, seaman, socialist, rancher, war correspondent, among others. Indeed, London's exploits as an adventurer have become the stuff of literary legend. Born in 1876 in San Francisco, London described his childhood as a time when his, quote, body and soul were starved. Critics have traced his later interest in socialism with this experience of poverty as a child and teenager. As a young man, he took part in General Jacob Coxey's Army of the Unemployed's March on Washington, D.C. in 1893. As the United States was being transformed from an agrarian society of small farmers to an industrialized one, many workers began to protest that they had become cogs in factories, less than human. And then during the Panic of 1893, these industrial workers suddenly found themselves without a home and without a way to feed themselves and their families. It was in this environment that socialism grew as a political and economic alternative to capitalism. In 1896, London joined the Socialist Labor Party, but later resigned in early 1916, quote, because of the party's lack of fire and fight and its loss of emphasis on the class struggle. Today, however, London is most famous not for his political writing, but for his tales of the North Country and the Yukon Territory. When he was 21, London headed north during the Klondike Gold Rush and sold his first story to the Man on Trail, a year later upon returning to Oakland. The next year he published An Odyssey of the North in the Atlantic Monthly, and then published the novel that put him on the literary map, The Call of the Wild, when he was 27. London's literary reputation was established by these stories, most centering around the theme of man versus nature. Of course, the natural world, depicted as harsh and brutal, usually wins. Critics refer to these works as London's Northland Saga, which includes 4 novels and almost 30 short stories. Over the years, there have been many film adaptations of classics such as White Fang and Call of the Wild. This is a still from a rather unique version of London's story To Build a Fire. It combines an audio reading of the story with screenshots. Go to cinebooks.com to see this version. London died on his ranch in California at the age of 40, an international celebrity. He influenced many other writers who came after him, including Ernest Hemingway. And I came across a great description recently of London and Hemingway and their visions of the natural world. It goes like this: Jack London and Ernest Hemingway, confident, swaggering into the storm. Man against nature. Of all the possible conflicts, that was the one that was hopeless.